Hey guys, I'm back again with another video. This video this video would be different from all the rest of the videos I usually do. This is a story time about when I lost my mom, and I've been thinking about it for a long time, thinking about talking about that time. And I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to talk about it. I think I can help people relate to my story or help them understand that they're not the only ones, especially as a kid that go through losing their parent. Because when I was a kid, I felt like I was the only one, even though I had people there. I had my sisters and I had family members there. I felt like I was going through this alone, through going through losing my mom alone. um my mom passed away back in 2006. I was 16. She passed away from sarcoidosis. I hope I'm saying that right. I'll put up what that is. So let me get into um let me recall that day, the day how it all started. So I know that morning she had to go to the doctor. It was like any other regular morning. I was on summer vacation. It was like almost the middle of August. I was on summer vacation, and I know maybe around that time I had to go. I think we were going. My little sister, and I were going to um, New Jersey, and I think she wanted me to get off the phone. She wanted me to get off the phone, and I'm always on the phone all the time. I'm always on the phone. She was upset because I didn't get off the phone fast enough. And you know, as a teenager, you get upset too because your mom is telling you to get off the phone. Um, that was the last interaction we had with each other. She was upset with me, and of course, I was upset with her because I didn't want to get off the phone. You know, um, I know when my godfather came, he picked us up, and we got to Jersey. Um, and I don't even think we were there that long. I'm not sure if we were there that long. Maybe a few hours passed or so. I know it was at nighttime, and my aunt got a phone call saying that um they were taking her back to the hospital. Um, she wasn't. I guess she wasn't feeling that well, and I knew she wasn't feeling well for a week before that. I know that because I remember her complaining about swelling and all that stuff. So she was swelling and breathing. Her breathing was bad at that time. So back to when we got the phone call, we my aunt was my aunt hung up the phone when she was saying, she was telling us what happened or whatever. But she was upset that, it was happening or whatever. Me, I'm thinking, oh, it's just, any other, time that she goes to the hospital and she's there for a week or a week and a half and then she's home, you know. Um, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Things got worse fast, really fast. I'm gonna try and record everything because I wasn't really there for everything, but I was there for the last few days. My sister, my family, and I were there for the last few days. But um, I remember my mom being sick, for as long as I can remember. Maybe back when I was in kindergarten, I know she was sick back then. I know she was in the hospital, off and on when I was in kindergarten. I remember. Um, Fast forward to, um, a few days on, we were still in New Jersey, and I remember my aunt took us on a trip. My aunt took us on a trip to Washington, D.C., and the whole time it was a awesome trip. It was a fun trip. My cousins were there. I had fun, but the whole time, driving there, going to different um, sceneries, museums, everywhere that we went. Even though I was having fun, in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, my mother is like, we don't even know what's gonna happen, because usually we're able to speak to her on the phone. Let me remind you, I haven't spoken to my mother since the day I left to go to my aunt's house. So it was serious then, you know. When we came back, I don't know how long we were there, but when we came back, we went to we went straight to the hospital. We went to the hospital to see my mom. Just like within a week span. I believe within a week span of all of this happened, we went on the trip, and then we came back, and then we went to go see my mom. So when I got to the hospital, she was in one room. I think somebody else was next to her, but when we got there, she couldn't respond to us. Nothing. Like she was in a medically induced coma, I believe. So when we got there, the only thing we could do was speak to her. There was no back and forth, nothing. I remember my sisters, my older sister and my younger sister was there. And I remember all three of us was in the room. I remember all three of us was in the room talking to her, and we held her hand and we spoke to her. We would talk to her and we would say, Mommy, pull through this. Anything that you need us to do, we would do it. Just pull through it. I remember that. And I was praying that she could hear us saying that. I was praying that she could hear us saying that. I was praying that she could hear all, her kids in the room with her, and that she would pull through. As time progressed, family members started to come, and that's when I knew it was going to be, something that wasn't gonna end well. And I tried my best to just keep, my mind off of it. I tried my best to do that. Once family came, then they started to move her. They moved her into her own room. I remember the room clear as day. Like, I remember the tubes. I remember her, hooked up to machines, everything. And watching those machines, those numbers on the machine. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I don't know much, but I know these things, they get worse. These numbers are not where they're supposed to be, they get lower and lower. You know what I'm saying? So I know something was wrong then. Let me fast forward to the day, the night before it happened. Um, I remember there was a few family members there that came, and we all went in the room to pray. And after the prayer, um, I went to hold her hand, and it was different. It was different from all the other times that I held her hand. Like it wasn't as warm as it was before, through the times that I was there. And it was more lifeless, like very, like her hands were very relaxed. And from then I knew, like, I was like, this is really happening. Like, I honestly believe my mother didn't pass on August 18th. I believe my mother went on the 17th, to be honest with you, because the way her body felt when I held her hand was way different from all the other days. Um, I didn't sleep that night. We was in the hospital. We stayed that night after we did prayer or whatever. We stayed that night. I didn't sleep. My aunt that I was in New Jersey with, she kept telling me get some rest, sleep. She kept saying get some sleep. I couldn't sleep. Like, I couldn't even think to close my eyes because I was scared. Like, I didn't want to wake up to somebody tell me that she was gone. Once the morning came, I don't know. I guess people came. I guess more of my family members came. Um, and we went in a room, and I know they told us that, basically she's going. My mom did assign a DNR, so she did not want to be resuscitated. Um, which I was angry about for a long time. And sometimes I find myself still angry about it. Um, but that day, I it was just so. That day was so, like, heavy on my chest. Like, I had I just I didn't understand, like, why is this happening now? Why is this, going on in a time of my life where, your mom is just becoming your best friend. Your mom is who you tell everything to, you know. This is the time when you're becoming a young woman, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like my world was, like, real, like, away from me. Snatched away from me. I didn't know what to do. Um, after she passed or whatever, we were sitting in the lobby area, and the only thing I could think about was I need to get away from everybody. I need to go. I don't want to be around nobody right now. And somehow, I don't know how I did it, but I know I slipped away from everybody. I had to leave. I left, and I was thinking about going, leaving and just going on the train to get on the train. But I didn't have no money, nothing. So I'm like, that's a dumb thing to do. So let me just go find somewhere in the hospital just to get away from everybody. I don't know if it was like, I don't know how long I was gone, but all I know is I needed that time by myself. I didn't go far. I went downstairs to the lobby. Um, and I guess my family sent people out to look for me, the security to look for me. And they found me. They took me to a room to sit down in. And my aunt, I think my aunt and my godmother came downstairs. They came downstairs and they came in the room. And I'm like, I'm just messed up in the head. Like, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to leave my home. I want to leave, my life back home. I don't want to leave anything. I don't want anything to change. I want my mother back. Um, that's all I could think about is my life was changing within those few seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my dad came. My dad came, and I guess he got wind of me being in that room. And at the time, our relationship wasn't the greatest. When he came in the room, I remember, I think he was talking to me. He said something to me. I can't even recall what he said to me because I was so mad and upset. And I believe he touched my leg. And I just went ballistic. Like, don't touch me. I didn't want anyone to touch me. I remember telling my godmother that I wanted to stay with her. I don't want to go nowhere because we were going to, if anything had happened to my mom, we had to go to Virginia. So I don't know nobody there except for my aunt and my cousins. I didn't want to go there. Plus, we were more used to, I was more used to being with my aunt in Jersey. So when the funeral came, the day for the funeral came, um, it was so unreal, and that's normal for anybody seeing, your mother, in a casket. It was so unreal. Um, the service was nice. It was beautiful. People came. A lot of people came. From what I remember, it seemed like a lot of people. After the funeral, we had food or whatever. People came over to eat, and I remember sitting there, and I knew people were there, and people, people telling you sorry for your loss or whatever. But the only thing I could do is just sit there and like, what what is this really happening? Is this a dream? Like, am I really going through? Am I really going through this right now at this age? You know, I remember I was tired, but I didn't want to sleep. I was hardly sleeping, which was like crazy. Like I was hardly sleeping. The only thing I was so upset and you know, as a teenager, like I want to get away from everyone. I want to get away. I need to find a way out of this. I need to just go. You know what I'm saying? I think it was 2 or 3 times I attempted to run away while we were still, you know, staying at my mom's apartment, getting everything together to go move to Virginia. And you know, as a teenager, you don't think, you just, you know, want to do what you feel is right for yourself. Um, I was being rebellious at the time. Um, I think that's the only way I knew how to um, get my frustration out. Um, so I don't want to get into, you know, all the details, but you know, that's basically how I lost my mom, and I tried to get, you know, almost every detail, and I didn't want to go deep into detail. I just want to speak on things that I do remember and things that, you know, as a teenager and losing your mom, or as a child, because my sister was 12 and my older sister was already an adult at the time. I think she was 23 at the time. So, you know, as a kid or as anyone in general, losing your parent is not something that you would want to go through, but it is something that will happen. That will happen. That's um I'm honestly grateful for the people that took care of us. My aunt in Virginia, who we stayed with for a few months, and then my aunt in Jersey, she took care of us, you know, and I'm so grateful for her because, you know, I had my moments where I still was like, you know, being rebellious, but she didn't give up on us. Um, she didn't give up on us, my sister and I. She took care of us, even all the way up until her last day. She took care of me and my son, actually. Um, I didn't want to get up onto that because my aunt was like my mother too. Um, y'all just don't understand because I don't like to show these emotions. I don't like people to see this, but I thought it was time to talk about what I went through when I lost my mom. Nobody really sees me like this, so this would be new for me to put on YouTube for people to see. Um, but like I was saying, my aunt, all the way to her last day, she made sure I was okay. My son was okay. Um, my cousins, everybody that was there for me, they made sure that I was okay. They made sure I had fun. You know, I enjoyed being, they made sure I enjoyed they made sure that I was okay. Um, Basically, if you're someone that's going through um, losing anyone close to you, um, such as a parent or an aunt or grandmother, it will be okay. It is normal to feel alone. It is normal to feel angry. It is normal to it is normal to feel what you feel. I'm 27 now, and even today it's still hard for me to recall those events, these things that those things that happen. Um I hope explaining I hope being able to tell you I hope telling you my story helps you get through your loss and dealing with losing someone that was close to you or you were close to. um I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, um and share. Help someone else get through what they're going through. And I'll see you next time. Bye.